What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video. It's a hot day out here in Davao, and yesterday I literally filmed the downtown area, but now I'm gonna go walk around this main highway over here to see the action and the craziness going on. It's a lot of traffic jam. My condo's literally right here, so I think I'm gonna walk from over here all the way to Gaisano. I'm looking at the map. I don't know, it looks close on the map, but I'm sure it's actually farther in person when you walk. But you know I love walking around, so I'm gonna focus mainly in this highway over here. A lot of jeepneys and stuff. This over here is called Gaisano Mall, but it's owned by Ayala. And then they got a couple of condos to my right-hand side. And you see the jeepneys over here. It's traffic jam pile up with people. I tell you, Filipinos are super creative in, how they get around, how they do stuff, and how they manage to get some space. Then over here, damn, I didn't realize we got a couple of condos out here. This is like an area that's pretty nicely developed. And the condo that I'm staying is pretty nice. I pay 1,399 pesos, but that's roughly like $25 or $26 per night. And it's a nice condo. It's actually the first time I went in Airbnb, but I feel like it was a little bit cheaper to get, Airbnb than staying at a hotel. So it's been nice, And then the Grab, which is kind of like the Uber version, it works out here. So I hop in one of the Grab, and it takes probably like 10 or 15 minutes for me to get to the city center, which is not too far, It's pretty convenient, but so far, it's a nice city, pretty nice and organized. Then you see, I didn't notice this because I was like in the traffic jam, so I didn't pay attention to the new developments that they have over here. So I think little by little they're developing like a little central business district. And then the name of this highway that I'm walking is called, I'm reading it right here, Daan Maharlika Highway. So sorry, my Tagalog Visaya is horrible at pronouncing it, but that's what it is. And it seems like there's a lot of action to capture over here, That's the thing about the Philippines. No matter what neighborhood you go, you always see something pretty interesting going on. I gotta be careful when I cross the street out here. But this highway, I think it's pretty interesting to look at, Lots of traffic. I'm gonna show you ahead of me once I make it towards this side over here. And this is the thing, I think it's faster if I walk to somewhere that's not too far from here than hopping in one of these transportations. I'll give you like a 360 view of what's going on. Then you see the new developments. My condo's literally like right there, that building I think it is. So I'm staying like in a nice, place. And so far, like I say, Davao is being pretty nice and organized. The people are so friendly, super safe to walk around here. And it has a lot to offer, but not just the city, the region is just super massive with a lot of nice nature. Oh wow, they got a nice coffee shop here. I might go there later and check it out and probably pick up coffee. Like I say, the coffee here in the Philippines is amazing, especially iced coffee, and I feel like for the weather it's good to drink something nice and cold, because of the heat and stuff like that. So I gotta walk ahead to see what's going on. Then another thing that I've been noticing, there is like a school over here, and I noticed like a lot of students from India. I guess they come down here and they study, not sure what field, but they study something around here. So that was something that shocked me a little bit to see a lot of them around here in this area that I'm staying, which is actually pretty nice, I don't mind it at all. Here you see what's going on. Traffic, there's a lechon house. The heat is starting to kick in. Something tells me I'm gonna need a bottle of water. Because I don't got my backpack. Look at this one, it looks like the rich shop from Thailand and Cambodia. Like I say, this is just a highway, but I like the action in this highway better than the highways back home in the States. That's like a nice developed building. It's called Ivory Residences. And then like I said, I don't know if you noticed, especially the two females I literally just passed by. A lot of people, they walk with their umbrellas to protect it from the sun. Because the sun here could be, pretty intense and pretty hard. And then I think as I'm walking my way over here and just going with the flow and freestyling, I would like to say, this is my 6th time in the Philippines and my 1st time in the Mindanao region, down here, southern Philippines. And yeah, I love the Philippines a lot, Why do I love it so much? Because of the people, the culture, the friendliness, the variety that I can get here, the diversity. Like I can have the city life, hop in a plane, then be on the beach or be somewhere else different. But yeah, I think the people over here is what make this country great. And I'm so excited and happy to be here. And I think it's going to be a little bit of the longest time I'm going to stay here. I'm here in Davao, but then in a bit I'm going to be hopping in a plane in a few days and head towards Siargao. My first time there, but I'm excited to see what's the vibe and what's the hype around there. And it's going to be pretty excited and pretty interesting down here. So then there's a school, I don't know if you can see from here, it's a female in white outfit. There's another one in white, and like I said, they're mostly from India, like this one in black that's crossing the street. So I'm not sure what are they study. If some of them approach me and it's friendly, I'm gonna take a chance and ask them, like, hey, what brings you down here, are you studying or working or doing something? But that was something that really sparked my curiosity. But the Philippines has a lot of foreigners out here. Keep in mind, a lot of people also like from Korea that come down here to study English. Not only because of the location, but it's cheaper to study English out here. Because this is one of the countries in the world, like I think the top 3, I could be wrong, where they speak pretty good English. Of course, they got tons of languages here, and they got mainly Tagalog and Bisaya, but not everybody, but most of the people here, they can really communicate well in English. So it's not an issue, to communicate with the people down here. Here's like a little old school shopping center, and here's the student I'm talking about. Yeah, it's probably like a mall. I think Gaisano is a little bit more ahead, and they got an overpassage right there. So I'm literally checking my Google Maps, like I see, it's been my best friend out here. And there is like a street here that I think is kind of like pretty cool to look at. I think it's called Loyola Street. I'm just trying to be careful when I'm walking too. I think it's called Loyola Street. So I want to check out to see what's happening over there. Based on the maps, it seems like they got some cool stuff. Still reading it right here. It's actually not that far. I thought it was going to be farther, but it seems like I'm actually getting closer. They got a Lacson Street. I think they also have like a Lacson Street in Bacolod. And a couple of, tall modern buildings. You got McDonald's, like you'll have this all over in the States. Then one thing I'm noticing, I'm not sure why, gotta be careful with the cars here. Like the lights over there, and then the lights in downtown area in Davao, which I was covering yesterday, most of the lights are not working. I'm not sure why. They have them off like in the intersections. So it's like you gotta be careful when you cross. So, I don't understand why. If anybody who's from Davao can explain me why are the signal lights not on or in operation, so I can have a better understanding, that'll be pretty cool. And over here is actually, wow, people are really good side. Like they can see me from a distance vlogging, the ones in the jeepney, and then I get all the stairs. Here we got a hotel, the Leonor Hotel. Okay, let's go down this way over here. Here it gets busier. This is actually what I wanted, to capture some busyness. I'm a fan of excitement and craziness in cities, so I had a little bit more ahead to see what's going on. So ahead of me is the downtown area. Look at this traffic jam, which explains why it's better if I walk. I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you, if I would have hopped in one of those taxis or jeepneys, I probably would have been stuck in traffic, but now I'm making it. Closer I want to go. Here's a hotel. Suites. Not sure how much the rate is. You could check it online. Then a block ahead of me is the street that I want to do a detour. Based on the maps, I just want to see what's out there. But they probably got like a lot of business and stuff, so this is just like a little semi-raw video going on over here. But here you got a couple of business and excitement, people fanning themselves because of the heat. I think also like the trucks and stuff, that literally causes like an intense heat out here. Like pretty hot, but I think I'm gonna make my left. I can actually cross here. The signal is working. And there should be like some cool, this is called Loyola Street, Barangay. So I think I'm gonna do a block here in the Barangay to see what's going on. Then they got like the bike lane over here. They got a couple of businesses out here. Big brands, big discounts. Reminds me a lot about home, like the little strip malls that they have here. Pretty nice, organized street. And of course, they got the palm trees and students. I guess they got off of school. Because right now it's 2:49. I'm literally looking at the clock, so. But yeah, let's go here and let's be careful with the cars and stuff. Okay, I should make a right, then another right. and that'll probably take me back to the highway, and then I'll make it towards where Gaisano Mall is. So actually it's not really that far, honestly. It's actually a good walk. But not something I'll figure I'll do like every single day. So, hello. They wave at the camera behind me when I'm filming myself, so. Yeah, now, yep, it gets a little bit more busier here. And then I'll tell you the thing about the Philippines, no matter where you go, there's always traffic. And here's not like driving in the States. Here's just another level. You gotta watch out with the motorbikes, the tricycles, the scooters and stuff. So there's Barangay 13B. I kinda like this little street here, this regular streets. I discovered like literally a street where I was staying in Cubao, which is kind of like Barangay, but it has literally everything. They have like stores and stuff. The street is called Liberty Avenue, right by Barangay Socorro. And that's the thing, you know, sometimes you gotta venture not only like in the main touristy areas, but go in local streets like this, and you'll discover like restaurants, you know, cool things, a lot of nice people out here. But the traffic is just crazy, no matter where you go. So I think I'm just walking back to the condo once I'm done with my mission out here. Walking is a good way to explore a country. I think I gotta make a right over here. Gonna check my Google Maps. There's a lounge. I'm pretty sure in the nighttime this neighborhood must be pretty lit. It's another restaurant across the street. Then one thing you gotta notice, the streets are pretty clean. The air quality is really good compared to Manila, you know. But yeah. And like I say, it's actually pretty safe. Despite the media portraying Mindanao or Davao like it's not the best, you know, the Western media, like always, just like local streets. They're actually really cool to look at. For some reason, I don't know, I just like this local streets over the main streets. I couldn't film it, I didn't have a chance to pull out the camera and turn it on. But there was like a tricycle packed with people. That would have been some good footage to capture. Hope this takes me to the main street. But I know there's tons of restaurants, the Noodle Station. But I feel like in the evening, I guess when people get off of work and school, this is when it's actually popping out here. Cowboy Ranch, wow. This is like Texas style barbecue out here in Davao. And here's another one, Unlimited Korean Barbecue. Whoa, this place is like it's legit. I ate at a spot like this in Baguio. Unlimited, all you can eat, $3.99. Well, that's not bad. It's like a couple of dollars and you get a meal. Then across the street is called Firms and Unlimited Rice. I tell you, they do love their rice out here in the Philippines. A burger joint right here, nice. And I'm back again on the Mayor Highway, so I'm gonna make it towards Gaisano to see what's going on. I got the jeepneys. So now on this side, the traffic is heading towards that way. Oh, they got a coffee shop right here, Kopi 82, coffee, beer, and wine. When I was coming from the other side down here, the traffic was heavy. Now going back the other way, the traffic is heavy towards this way, as you can see in my right-hand side. But then I think, hey, hi. But then I think like, yeah, I think like a block or two. Oh, I can see it out over here. A block ahead of me is Gaisano. So I just gotta be careful where I walk, because I'm literally sharing the sidewalk with the motorbikes. And you can see the traffic jam just keeps going. So I don't know how clear you can see it. The blue dot is me, and then one block ahead is Gaisano. So I'll probably go in and show them all a little bit and then wrap up the video over there. But yeah, taxi driver, I gotta say, you know, pretty busy, is always hustling out here. The local Filipinos are some of the hardest working people on the planet, besides being also like the friendliest. And then to get to Gaisano, they have like a overpassage over there. Then after that overpassage is where downtown district of Davao starts. And then here's the Gaisano Mall. This actually is pretty big. There's a lot of Gaisano malls are not really that big, but this one is, you know, pretty massive. And then here's the mall. I just got to figure how do I get inside. Shelter inside and get some air conditioning from the heat. It's not like intensely hot, but it's actually pretty humid. Like always. So how do I get in? And that's like, I guess like a parking lot right here. This is actually the mall, and it's actually pretty massive. 1, 2, 3 stories tall. Just look at the floors. And I think there's more on the other side, like a big patio or something like that. So I'm just gonna walk around and cool off and see what can I find here. So you can see how massive the mall is. So I gotta tell you, this mall is kind of like if Glorieta and Makati and Market and BGC had a baby. It looks a little bit like both combined together, but yeah, pretty nice and pretty cool. Gotta tell you, man, it's not until you enter a place with AC that you feel like you sweat in the back. You know, it kind of feels a little bit nasty, and I'm waiting for that summer when I head back to New York City, but yeah, you know, outside you're just like used to it, but then once you head inside the mall, that's when you start feeling like the nastiness of the sweat and the humidity. But that's what you expect when you travel to tropical countries, and I don't mind it at all, you know. Just having a blast out here, seeing what's going on and exploring around. So that was like a nice little cool walk, you know, refresh myself a little bit from the heat. But yeah, now I'm back in the street level. And I'm not too far from Rojas Avenue where they do the night market I was filming last night. And I walked there during the daytime. It's ahead of me. I'm probably gonna walk around a little bit to see what's going on, and then I'll probably just wrap up the video. As you can see, it's pretty busy here. They have like another plaza across the street. Then locals out here. Space is tight as some of the locals, they walk literally in the highway or the street. And then there's like a busy intersection over there ahead of me, Santa Ana, combined with this one that I'm walking. But yeah, it's been pretty nice this evening, you know, pretty chill to walk around this side of Davao. I'm walking around this side to see what can I find. I see a nasty cloud ahead. So it seems like it's gonna rain. Yesterday it rained around the evening, and it seems like it might rain, I don't know, like in an hour or anytime soon. So probably just gonna see a little bit more what's out here, and if anything, I'm just gonna wrap up the stream. You know, I got more contents out here in the Philippines. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna turn back and walk the other way that I came around. And even over here, they have the art. Like if it's the entrance of a Chinatown, just like I was walking around Magsaysay Avenue yesterday in Davao by the local park, but then the rain kind of ruined the moment. I wanted to try some of the durians around there, so I think I'm gonna hit the overpass just to capture the street action over here. I think it's gonna be a nice view. This is it right here. You can see a view of the street, and that heads towards the downtown area of Davao. It's, you know, pretty cool. I'm just gonna head back down. Oh, here I get a better view. There's eateries out here, Korean restaurant, and can't even read it, Katlia's Eatery. So no matter where you go in the Philippines, there's tons of eating options. There's a car dealership, Toyota. Toyota's pretty big out here in the Philippines. I wonder where all this smoke is coming from. But here it is. Like I said, once again, it reminds me of Puerto Rico and Toyota. I mean, Puerto Rico Toyotas are pretty big. A lot of people there used to be a commercial in Spanish like, Toyota nunca se rompe, like Toyotas never break down. I'm trying to remember because it's been like years ago since I see those commercials. But yeah, then this place looks like it's legit. Kopi 82, so this is like a local coffee shop. I'll probably try before I head to my Airbnb. Probably gonna try to find a local coffee shop and grab like a nice coffee. I think that'll go well, and I'll need all the energy to do my editing later to upload the video out here. So, but yeah, you see all the jeepneys over here next to me. Like I said, they're different from the ones in Manila. They're actually a little bit more smaller. But yeah, pretty crazy traffic jam, but I love seeing like the street action right here. And here you see like another angle of this area, which is actually really cool. Like I say, it's super, super busy. It's crazy that this highway is actually busier than some parts of the downtown area that I was walking yesterday in Davao. And then the icon of the Philippines, Jollibee. But here you see the condos, which I was showing a little bit earlier. But this is just from another point of view, another angle right here. And then the traffic now, it turns to the other side. I'm out here in Davao City in Mindanao, Philippines. And one thing I discovered is that they actually have a little India over here. Now, I've been noticing a lot of Indians, you know, being around here and wearing like a uniform. I guess they're going to school. But I discovered they have a natural neighborhood out here where they got like tons of Indian restaurants and joints. I think the name of the street is called Medical School Drive. So I'm gonna make my way over there to see what's going on. There's probably some schools around there. There's probably restaurants around there. So I'm gonna walk around and see what the neighborhood looks like. So it's a little bit hidden here, but I know it's in the right side. Wow, it's cloudy. I hope it doesn't rain so I get caught up in this rain. The rain is pretty nasty. But I think it's literally like after the condos where the medical school is. And that's where you're gonna see the Indian community down here in Davao, which is something that I had no idea. And I just, I found out as soon as I arrived here, and I just went to Google to study a little bit of the map, and I just found out they have a little India out here. So not clear how you can see it, but over here where you see the red dot is actually called Medical School Drive. So if I go a little forward, that's where you're gonna start seeing all the Indian restaurants. So it's somewhere hidden over here, which if you walk around, you probably will miss it or have literally like no idea. And like always, this highway is busy. Like I was walking a little bit earlier, a lot of people, but let me just make it straight towards my destination, towards Medical School Drive. Hopefully it's easier for me to cross towards the other way. But if anything, I'll do as the locals do, follow what they do. I'm probably gonna cross over here. It's probably my best option. So I'll safely cross the street. So I think probably like a block ahead of me is where I'm trying to go. So it's gotta go over here. I think where the sign with the neon light ahead of me, I think that might be the street that I'm looking for. But I'm just gonna check in Google Maps to make sure. It's like literally like a hidden gem down here in Davao. And here you got some developed buildings with strip malls, a couple of condos right here. So the school should be somewhere around. So there are, I guess it's like a big university with multiple buildings that goes all the way over there. But where I'm trying to go, I think it's a block ahead of me, so I just gotta cross the street here, which is gonna be a little bit intense. Let me do what the locals do. Just go for it. Just go for it. So the street goes here, and you can see what I'm talking about. The people, two Indians coming ahead of me. I think it's gonna get busier when I walk a little bit more forward. Literally missed the street. I had to look at Google Maps. And it's right here, so I think I gotta walk all the way up the hill. And I think if I go up the hill, that's where you see, that's where you see all the restaurants. So it's busy over here. But I know ahead of me it's gonna get actually more interesting. So let's see what's going on, what's the vibes, the restaurants that they have over there, Like I say, this is something that I didn't know about. The restaurant should be up the hill and the right side. But this is the thing, there's literally nothing here, just a condo. So you just gotta look at the maps clearly to have an idea where you're going right here. So and here goes the first Indian restaurant. When I go to Google, this is what pops up, Indian restaurant, 5-door. And you see two Indian students out there. Then I think it should be more ahead of me. Let me get off the street. Let me just cross the street now. I think this is gonna be pretty interesting when I'm gonna show you ahead of me. The shops and everything once I get up the hill. So the schools are right here, and you can see the people. It will get a little bit busier once I start going up the hill. I think this is part of the school, part of the medical school, not sure how big it is. There's probably more ahead of me, so we're gonna go find out. And this is where the confusion starts. It's where you think, hey, am I in Davao or am I in Mumbai or New Delhi? Let's look at the people out here. And here's where the restaurant starts. Serving halal, they got vegan options. I think if I come at certain times, it get a little bit busier. There's a lot of people out there eating. Look at this place here, Mumbai Indian Barbecue and Grill. They got an Indian grocery. Wow, that's cool. I think it's actually better if I walk where the strip shopping center is. Oh, look at this. Oh, man, this is literally restaurants out here that are Indian. It's actually really cool. And then you see the students out here.
Coffee.
Wow. It's actually crazy, right? But I'm loving it so far. They even got Punjabi diner. I think this is the entrance to the school. So tons of restaurants, somebody barbecuing out there. Wow. Just walking over here, they got the sidewalk. Some more spots, more restaurants. You gotta watch your step. So, it's a pretty chill spot. Oh, they even got a barber shop here, nice. And a couple of carinderias. Nice, let me see what else is ahead of me. And here's another one, Punjabi town. Wow, they got tons of restaurants out here. Crazy. What else we got? Thai massage. literally like a massive building with strip malls underneath. Royal Canning, I guess it's like to bring your pets. Then what's out here ahead of me? Empanadas, coffee shop. Then what, like a seafood restaurant, and then wow, they got a Jollibee over here. So that's pretty much it. But I think I've shown enough for today. I think I might wrap up my video over here. You know, that was this part of Davao, which was pretty nice. So I got plenty of other videos coming out from the Philippines. So that was the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all. And peace.